15, 20 feet, it's because we only have this little section. But if we were at 100 feet, 200 feet, he would do exactly what the dogs would do, exactly what they're going to do now. Hand and voice sit the dog from a distance. And hand and voice down the dog. And then they can also do this hand only, sit the dog from a distance. And only down the dog from a distance. Good. And now voice only. Remember, our hands are tied up. Voice only, sit the dog. And voice only, down the dog. Now, they'll bring him into a heel. They'll give him a reward. And all these dogs really want for a reward is these little balls that they're going to be playing with. And then they get their reward. Because they've done what we've asked them. Now, part of that obedience. Part of that obedience is very important because in our job, again, bad guy takes off from us. He runs across Route 5. He runs across Main Street. We start to send the dog after the bad guy, and all of a sudden we see a car coming. Well, we certainly don't want our dogs to be run over. So what we have to do is stop them in their tracks. Bad guy continues to run, not a problem. We'll catch up to him. And then we send the dog after the traffic's gone by and it's all clear. So what Steve's going to show you now is he'll stay the dog there. Now remember how much, if he didn't tell him to stay, he'd run right after that. Now he's going to...
Break stay down! Break stay down! Let's go! Stay down!
How important it is out on the street for that dog to listen and have good obedience. Because like I said, we threw that ball, and this has happened actually with him at home. My son threw the ball, and as the dog ran out towards the street to get it, he hit it with his mouth. So instead of catching it in his mouth, he hit it with his mouth and went out further across the main street. Down come the cars, and he said, "Dad!" I turned around, I saw him going, "Greg, stay down!" Boy, he heard that and went right down. 10 feet before the street, cars went by. I said, "Okay, now go get your ball." Ran across the street, got his ball. So that's a little example of that. Now, one of the other things I want to show you, and does anyone know where I get some cones? Yes, exactly. Now this is what we call tactical obedience. Stay down. Okay, very simply. These are obstacles. Okay? These are trees. These are garbage cans. These are post office boxes, the little the mail boxes that you would go to. We need to sneak up on that Premier Marshall kit bag right there. Okay? So we got to come up to the scene. Yeah, we need to get up around there where the bad guy is. But we don't want him to know you're coming. Okay, so I'm going to tactically move up. Stay down. Stay. I'm going to move up.
Now sometimes he has to stay, Axel, at each obstacle and move. Sometimes he may have to move. The dog may have to move with him. So what's going on in the street at that point? Right now he's going through each position, and Axel needs to stay with him.
Remember, we are working with animals here.
Now sometimes you got to think, if there is a bad guy shooting at us, that dog has to be down protected also. So we may have to, if there's some type of barrier, he may have to be down low, so he's covered like we are.
That's what we call tactical obedience. Now, yes, sometimes stay down. We have to use our imagination, okay? I'm sure your sensei has told you about using your imagination, right? Am I right? Visualization, okay. Visualize that this is all grass, or high grass, or hay, or a big forest with leaves and trees and things like that. So what ends up happening is we have to go out and look for evidence. All right? Now, down. It's very exciting. the O.J. Simpson glove. Okay? Apparently they were done with it, and so they didn't need it anymore. So we got the O.J. Simpson glove. A spent shotgun shell used in a crime, and someone said there was a domestic. They heard gunfire, and we got there, and they said it was over here somewhere. I have no idea where it was, but it was over there. Well, let's see if really there was gunfire. Someone dropped a knife. Okay, they were having and this is actually a true story, a card game gone bad. One guy was caught cheating. The guy caught cheating pulled out a knife, stabbed the other two, and ran off. As he was running, he threw the knife into the woods and then ran up the street. Not only were we able to come, stay, don't stay. Stay. Where is it? What? No. Now, the importance of this is, yes, it's very easy on a nice blue carpet and a nice clean, place here, that these dogs are probably going to use their eyes a little more than with their nose. But what we're going to do, this is exactly how we do it out on the street. Okay, fetch it up. Where is it? Fetch it up. Get to work. And now when he finds it in the high grass, in the hay, in the dark, in the midnight, at 2 a.m. in the morning, he stays there. We come over, stay. It's usually in a 5 feet circumference around him somewhere. There it is. Good boy, buddy. That's a good boy. So we found the bullet, right? Stay. Okay, get to work. Where is it, buddy? Fetch it up. Stays down. We come up. Where's that knife? Where's that knife? Oh, there's the knife. Good boy, buddy. That's a good boy. And that's what we call evidence recovery. Very important in police work. Now, one thing we can't show you, that's a little bit of what we call nose work. Nose work is the biggest reason why we have these dogs. The biggest reason why we have these dogs, again, is because of their nose. It's not because of their bite or their bark or anything else. It's because of their nose. They can smell 100 times better than you and I. So what that means basically is you open up a bottle of ammonia, right? Oh man, is that strong? Well, you step on a blade of grass and break it, smell it, you can't smell it. You cut a fresh lawn, right? Brand new lawn. It smells like someone just cut their lawn, you know? That's what he smells, that's what they smell when they're going out looking for the bad guy. Bad guy gets into a fight, bad guy steals a car, bad guy hurts people, runs off, and tries to hide. Well, that's exactly what ends up happening. We put the dog into a harness, 15 feet of leash, and we just tell him, go ahead, buddy, go find it. Where is it? He's looking for that fresh, broken stick or twig in the woods, stepping on those leaves, breaking those leaves, fresh scent. He's looking at bending over those grass blades, smelling that. Those are the kinds of things he's looking to smell, and that's where the bad guy just ran off. So that's what we call tracking. It's something we really can't show you here tonight. It's not conducive to our location. But one of the next things we are going to show you, which I know you're going to really enjoy. Do you have our victim yet?
Nice.
Okay. But for now, until he's ready, one of the biggest things we want to remember before we obviously forget is we want to thank each and every one of you personally. Okay? After we're all done here, you're going to be able to come up and pet the dogs and let them lick your face if you want and do whatever you want, because they only bite when we tell them to, so they certainly won't bite you. For the most part, if the bad guys give up, they never get bit. If they don't give up, that's a different story. And sometimes we have to send them, and the dogs are not only protecting us, they're protecting you, your mom, your dad, neighbors, whatever. Okay? But we want to thank you for coming out tonight. We certainly want to thank Riz for putting this whole thing together. Totally Kickin' Fitness, Appalachian Tales, because without you guys, obviously you heard about Steve's dog, they're dogs. Tonight could be their last night out on the street. And true story, bad guy, goes out in the woods, another officer sends his dog out, and the bad guy is kicking his dog. And he kicked him so hard, so many times before the officer could find him and get to him and help him, was that he hit a nerve, and so now the dog dragged his back leg. And there's nothing else he could do, so he couldn't go out on the street. So the dogs do get hurt, they do get injured. But what you're doing will help us, put these vests on these dogs and protect them from the worst things. The stabbings, the guys with the knives, the shootings, believe it or not, their very best defense, okay, is their, this is a little rambunctious puppy. But you heard about Steve and his dog. He was just out tracking a bad guy, just robbed a place. And sure enough, he went down into some woods we weren't familiar with. And a lot of junk had been thrown down into the woods. He stepped on something extremely sharp, sliced the back of his paw, and it was bleeding pretty bad. Well, it's pitch black. We're not going to see red blood until we got out on the street, out on the sidewalk, saw the blood on the street pooling up, and that's when he realized. So they teach us, they train us. We got to be able to carry our dogs. Steve picked up his dog, ran it into his police car, and didn't wait for an ambulance, and was driven over. Yep.
That's the guy right there that helped us out, Jake Cohen. He actually drove my police car.
Let's give Jake a big round of applause.